Alright guys, we got both ranges in the air here. Tons of stuff to happen, guys, so we're going to start swapping stuff over onto this one. So this is the last time we'll probably be seeing the Blue Ranger. She's stripped down pretty bad. Alright guys, so we're out here under the hood. We're going to do a quick little fix today. So actually, when we got this truck, it had a huge crack in this vacuum hose for the heater control valve. So quick temporary fix. I just threw some electrical tape around it just so we could hide that huge crack, but we're actually going to permanently fix this right now. So I'm going to get this electrical tape off. Hopefully I can show you what this crack was looking like, and then we're going to do a quick little fix. So let's get into it now, guys. Alright guys, so we got the electrical tape off. Fortunately, it did separate it when I took the electrical tape off, although it's okay, it had to be separated anyway for the fix we're going to do. But you can see it was just extremely brittle, cracked. It was hanging on by a thread. So what we're going to do now is get this damaged part of this hose cut out, and then we're going to quickly fix this, and we should be good, guys. So let's get into the fix now. Alright guys, so here is our fix. We got this pack of Dorman vacuum connectors. I got this from Advanced. I'm sure AutoZone probably has them as well. I just happened to be at Advanced at the time. So what we're going to do is go ahead and use one of these adapters that's going to be the same size as this vacuum line. It's just going to connect the two ends of the line. So we're going to cut this damaged stuff out, and then from there we're going to use one of these. So first thing we're going to do is cut some of this damage out. So I don't know if you can see it, but that's pretty bad. Probably going to cut it back a hair. I have an airline cutting tool for air suspension, so it gives you a perfect clean cut. Let's get that out of there. Alright guys, so you can see we got that one cleanly cut. We're going to go ahead and cut the damage off of this side. Nice, clean, even cut on that one. So now all we need to do is find the appropriate vacuum connector. Alright guys, and we got our adapter. So what we're going to do is push this in, and I'm trying to get them halfway to meet inside. So essentially I want them touching inside almost. Yep, I got them. You can feel them pressed into each other. Okay, and that way, you know, you got the best chance of having an airtight seal. So this is, you know, probably right there in the middle. They're touching each other, and then we have all that to protect it along the way. So I think that's pretty good, guys. We're gonna go ahead and plug this back up, and I think we're good, guys. I think that should be a really nice, tight, secure fit for this vacuum line, and I think that looks a lot better and probably is going to work better than electrical tape. So I think we're good on this one, guys. Let's keep moving. All right, everybody, we did fix this line. This is the vacuum line for the heater control valve, so we did repair that, as you saw. Now we're going to go ahead and get this fixed. Now, as you can see, this line is actually good. It's ran, you know, correctly with the vacuum line, although this should actually be going to the vacuum ball, and the vacuum ball should be going back to the vacuum source. So this has been bypassed because, if you remember, we had the ball down here with nothing connected to it at all. So I have the ball from the wrecked Ranger. We're going to go ahead and throw this vacuum reservoir in, get this correctly routed as it was intended to be with the vacuum line. So let's get into it now, guys. Alright guys, so we've gained access down here. So really all we gotta do is just install the ball, get the bolts up in it from the bottom of the fender well, and we can go ahead and route this up. Alright guys, we got the vacuum ball, vacuum reservoir, whatever you want to call it, got her installed. See, we got the original bolts right there, those two holding it in. Got the original line rerouted going right into the ball, and then we have our line going right to our vacuum. So this is all ran, everything is reinstalled, and then we have our vacuum reservoir again. So you can go ahead and button this up and put everything back together. Vacuum reservoir fully installed, starting to look more and more OEM and how it was supposed to be every day. So starting to fall together, guys. And she's got a new alternator as well. I did have to replace that recently since I really didn't do the job on camera, but that got replaced as well. So as you can see, guys, a lot of things falling together here, and the engine and engine bay is definitely starting to fall in line. So all right, so we've torn this thing down from the bottom, from the front. Time to do the top, guys. So today we're going to be doing the valve cover gaskets because she's spewing. So probably won't be able to see that down there, but it's going to be a fun project, guys. A lot of this has to come off, so let's go ahead, get started, and start tearing this thing apart again. Alright, guys, we got that manifold off. She is a bear. EGR pipe right here is the most funnest part about this whole process, but we're gonna keep on digging, guys. We're getting closer to that valve cover. Moving along, guys. Got this bolt holding in the bracket for the coil pack onto the exhaust manifold loose, which was a challenge to get to, but got it broken loose. So definitely not a fun job, guys, but we're moving along slowly but surely. Guys, got that passenger side off. We're gonna go ahead and work on getting the driver's side off now. All right, so we got that other driver's side valve cover off, and as you can see, there's where we were leaking right there, pretty bad. All right, so doesn't look too bad in here. I will say this one was way harder than the other side. I mean, between fighting these fuel lines and this EGR pipe, it was definitely a bear, but overall we got it done, guys. We're just gonna go ahead and start the cleaning process. Got it pretty cleaned up here, guys, around these valve covers. Not looking too bad. A lot of that old buildup out as well. Coming along, guys. All right, guys, so we're about ready to put this back on. Got the valve covers cleaned up here. See, not too bad. A little bit rusted from time, but honestly, they don't have the plagued, crusty, rusty corners, which it was falling apart, so I'm glad with that. We're just gonna reuse these. Honestly, ideally would like to paint them, but you know, I'm on fixed time, and you know, this isn't a race car build, so as much as I want it to be clean and be a race car, we're just gonna go, you know, with the clean OEM look. So let's go ahead, start getting these back on, guys. All right, we got the valve covers on both sides. coming together. Definitely not the funnest job, but getting it done. All right, everybody, we got this intake cleaned up. See, the mating surface is pretty clean. I know you guys didn't think we were gonna leave it dirty, right? Come over here, cleaned up our intake manifold. Got the new gaskets in there, the old dried out ones right there. So we're moving along, guys, coming back together. And pretty soon we're gonna be putting this intake back on. All right, guys, get this manifold back on. All right, guys, it's 2:30 in the morning and finally got this thing buttoned up. Went over it a few times just to make sure everything was right. Had to pull the intake manifold a couple times just to ensure this EGR gasket was right. I mean, overall, she was a bear to say the least, but she's looking pretty together, guys. Everything's looking intact. Everything's connected up. So I think she's ready for her first official fire. Let's see how we did. Hopefully she starts, because man, she was apart. Let's see where we're at with it, guys. Let's hope for the best. She's running. You see that idle come down some. She's climbing down a bit. Let's go look under the hood. I don't know, guys. I think she's all right. Alright, it might be hard to see here. Let me get some light, but that is trans fluid slowly leaking out of the rear seal of the trans where the drive shaft yoke goes in. So I've tried 2 national seals. This seal right here is actually one that we went to the parts store and kind of just matched up and it fit, but we can't get this thing to stop leaking. So I did get the OEM seal. This thing has been balanced in its past, but it wasn't done well. It is out of time, the whole drive shaft. So we're gonna go ahead and retime this thing and get the OEM Ford seal, and hopefully we can finally cure this leak that's coming out of the rear of this trans. So it did?
Oh, good. Went in nice and even.
So that was the easiest one yet then?
Yep.
Oh, that's love. Alrighty, so we're gonna hope for the best now. We got the OEM Ford seal in there. All right, so we're gonna hope this thing lasts and We got this whole drive shaft retimed, so it's in the correct alignment. Now here is the old gasket that we found at AutoZone. Just a quick, quick find and run. And honestly, it probably did better than the two national ones that were in there prior, but that's the OEM seal right here, guys. So if you guys happen to need this seal, that is the part number. And we'll do another check back in, and hopefully this thing lasts, guys. So we'll see. Hopefully fourth time's a charm. All right, guys, so the rear is making a lot of noise, and we figured out why. It's because it has a locker in the rear diff. They took the gears out. So this has a locker to essentially convert it from an open diff. So, thought something might be wrong with it, thought it needed spider gears, but it doesn't even have them. So, took the diff off. I actually do have a new diff cover, but I'm just gonna go ahead and clean this up and put the old one on for now. And then when the new one comes in, I'll put the new diff cover on and, make it real nice and clean. But for now, we just wanted to get in here, see what was going on. We figured out what the deal is. So essentially we're just making noise because it's a race Ranger, apparently. Somebody felt the need to put these in here. So, that's where we're at with it, guys. We're gonna go ahead and start cleaning this up. All right, guys, make a little progress here. So got this cleaned up for the most part. Gotta prep that. We're gonna try to use a gasket on this. So instead of RTV, I got a gasket. We'll try that. I'm gonna finish prepping that up, but just gotta get that last little bit of fluid to stop. But do you see the ice on that rear diff cover, guys? This is the original rear diff. I did order a new one, OEM from Ford, so I'm gonna put a new rear diff on here, but for the time being, I actually ordered it. I'm just waiting for it to come in, but for a week, 2 weeks, however long this one's gonna be on here, I think she's pretty clean, guys. What do you think? All right, guys, we got our original diff cover here all torqued back on. We did use a Fel-Pro gasket, so I tried the gasket method. I guess we'll see how that works in comparison to RTV. Most people probably use RTV, but like I said, we're going to be replacing this in the near future anyway, because I have the OEM Ford original diff cover on the way. So I'm going to replace this again with the new diff cover. We just did this to get in here and see what we're looking at. So it's not too bad. We did have to air hammer. I should say my friend had to air hammer the old fill plug, because this one that was in here was torqued beyond belief for whatever reason. As we know, whoever worked on this thing in the past was a complete idiot. So obviously, we're still finding all their problems, but we got the new one in here. So I'm gonna just pop this out and everything's good. Got the old one out, got our new fill plug, thanks to my boy. And we're gonna start filling this thing up, guys. All right, guys, another day back out here in the shop. We're gonna be doing rear diff things today. So as you saw prior, we did do the rear diff gasket on here and did a fluid change just to see what was going on in here. And we found out there's a locking plate rear differential inside of here. So it does have clicking, but that is the trade-off for having that plate inside of here. So essentially, I just wanted to test this Fel-Pro gasket here, and this thing held really nice. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's really clean. I actually planned on redoing this anyway, because when I did it the first time, I had a new diff cover. So what we're going to do today is one more fluid change. We're going to do the new diff cover with the same Fel-Pro gasket that's already on here. So I think this is a little quicker and easier than doing the actual RTV method, although there's nothing wrong with that. But we're gonna go ahead, get this thing off. We're gonna get the fluid drain and do another fluid change and put this new cover on and make it look pretty, guys. So let's get it started. Alright, so this probably has like 300, 400 miles on it. So this gear oil still looks brand new, looks really good. You can see there's our locking plate in the rear diff, and our rear diff cover, the OEM one, is actually still pretty clean. So this actually looks really good. Should be a pretty easy cleanup to get this new one on. Alright guys, she's all cleaned up, ready for reassembly. It was pretty easy this time. We didn't have to do all that RTV and clean all that stuff off, and we got a brand new diff cover, so obviously that's just going to be brand new, ready to go on. So you can see our locker in that rear diff causing all that ruckus. But overall she looks really good. Let's go ahead and get this Velcro gasket on with the new diff cover. Alright, so we got that new cover, looking hella blingish, matching that pretty muffler right there, but no, I'm just kidding guys, but it doesn't look too bad. Everything's brake cleaned up, everything's wiped down, looks pretty good. Got her all filled up, got that new drain plug, so we're looking pretty good here guys.